Hello everybody, I'm here with Dave Knight at 2nd Street Tattoo. This is an interview I've been waiting for such a long time. I can't even count how many interviews I've done and Dave's name has come up. The book would feel a little bit incomplete, or maybe a lot incomplete if you weren't in it. The book is about a cross-section of tattooing in Canada, and your name certainly needs to be in it. So thanks, Dave.
Great. Yeah, nice to meet you finally.
Yeah, finally
been a while.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah, it's great. Glad to be here and talking to you about all this stuff.
Yeah.
I love tattooing, and yeah, that's my life. I'm glad to do stuff like this because, you know, it's changed a lot over the years, and there's certain core values that I think need to be maintained for it to keep going in a positive direction, and some of those things kind of get lost in the shuffle. And so I'm glad you're doing stuff like this because it makes a big difference in the long run.
Yeah, it's sort of like it's teaching people about the tradition of tattooing. It's teaching people to, if they don't know what to respect, then how do they respect it? And I think interviews with people who have longevity, you know, they're schooling the newer generation of what really this trade is, what it has been about, and there's certain components of that need to be carried forward.
Yeah, I agree.
So,
yeah.
When did you get your first tattoo?
Where?
No, like how old were you when and where? Really?
Well, when I was a little kid, you know, I was messing around with my friends in the camper in the backyard, sort of, you know, jabbing each other and stuff. But like my first real tattoo was in a shop called Joey and the Bear in Edmonton, and that would have been, I was probably about 18 or so, and it was something that I drew. I came and I said, I want a tattoo. I had no idea how it worked, and I said, I want something I drew, and he was like, okay, whatever. So I went over to my girlfriend's house, I quickly sketched up this thing, came back, and he tattooed it on me.
Yeah.
It took less than 20 minutes, but I almost passed out, and yeah, it was a real good first experience. I was like, okay, that's what this is all about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember I had to lay down in the guy's yard when I got my first one.
Nice. Yeah, so you know the sort of circumstances of the first ones aren't always perfect, right?
Yeah. I was 15 though. My parents were at a bike party, and I just took off to the tattoo shop and got my way in.
Yeah. Right? That's the way it works. You just weasel in where you can.
Sure, yeah. And so after you get your first tattoo, like, what was going through your mind? Were you thinking, like, should I need a ton of these, or I want to do them?
Well, it was a little shocking at first because, you know, up until that point, and, you know, I still have problems getting, say, like, blood drawn or something like those types of things. That was always freaking me out, and that's kind of what made me feel shitty, I think, for that first time I got tattooed, because I had to wrap my head around it and be like, oh, okay, so it hurts to get one of these, but
yeah.
I put that to the back of my mind and like, okay, now it's on, right? And I mean, I knew enough from seeing what my uncle and talking to him and him regretting some things, and I was like, I'm at least going to wait until I get to a point where I find somebody I really know that they do good work.
Yeah.
So then I met Danny Gordy when I was in Edmonton, and I started getting tattooed by him. And then it just went on from there, right? And then I knew I wanted to work with him, and then started getting tattoos, and just progressed.
What year would
to then?
Like, what year would that be? You getting tattooed by Danny?
94, 95, somewhere in there.
So that's pretty early on in his career too, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah. He was still like working at the original shop where he learned to tattoo, and Edmonton was relatively small place at the time, and you know, word got around that there's this guy doing good tattoos out of the shop, and so I just sought him out, went and got my first, and I still remember it to this day. I remember the album we were listening to, the art on the ceiling, the whole
Okay, yeah.
the whole thing, you know, A to Z.
Sure, yeah. Did he do the graffiti on your arm?
Yeah, he did this whole
Yeah,
he did
it's-
both my forearms.
Okay. It's so, like, I remember seeing his work. He did a lot of that graffiti. Actually, I remember seeing this piece.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, that was the thing. This
you have that.
tattoo, yeah, that's a lot of people say that
That's
to me.
crazy.
Yeah.
Because that was in a magazine.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, yeah. I was in a bunch of magazines at the time. That's sort of what everyone's like, oh, Danny. Because, yeah, he did all of this with an 8-round.
Okay.
Like, that's, at that time, I had just started, like, probably about a year in, if that, at the time. And we were still using, like, he did all of this with an 8-round, too. This entire forearm.
Yeah.
That's all we were coloring with. That we had never even heard of what a mag was before.
Yeah.
So we were just like, I was digging holes in people because I didn't know what I was doing, trying to color huge things with a little 8-round. But he was able to pull this off, like all the little veins and fingernails. And this is over 30 years old now. So
Yeah.
I mean, it still blows my mind. I look down at that and I'm like, holy shit, there's no way I could pull that off with an 8-round now, let alone back then, you know.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, I remember tattooing at a convention with Danny in '95.
Yeah.
And yeah, his work
So what
was-
convention is that?
It was Guelph. Paul
Oh, yeah.
Vickery put it
Yeah.
on, the little tiny one.
Yeah, see, he went to Guelph right when I pretty much started at the shop.
Okay.
And I started there, and he's like, I'm going to this tattoo convention. And I was like, oh, there's tattoo conventions? You know, that whole thing. So he went to Guelph and came back, and then we started traveling together after that. So I remember him going to that convention.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, I took care of the shop while he was gone. And
Yeah.
yeah, it was really cool. Just to know that the guy I was working for was going to a tattattoo convention.
Yeah, it was a big deal,
Yeah,
right?
it was.
I shouldn't have been tattooing there because I was a friggin' scratcher.
Yeah, but,
Somehow, some way I got into that. Yeah.
but good experience. You still remember it to this day, right?
Oh, I do.
Yeah.
Like, it's like those early memories imprint so deeply, right? This is sort of the beginning stages of your career.
Yeah, it's cool, and like just the connection that you were there when Danny was there.
Yeah. Well, he drew a tattoo for me at that convention too.
Oh, yeah.
And then he got busy, and then I was tattooing, and
Yeah.
so it never
Didn't happen.
happened. But I wish I had got that because he's like, yeah, just give me like $150, and it was a decent sized piece, and
Yeah.
I wish I had got that one.
You still got some room, I'm sure, here.
Yeah.
You can squeeze
Well,
something
I'm
in.
covering up a bunch of these soon.
Are you?
Yeah. So yeah.
Nice.
That's so cool. You got that tattoo. 'Cause
Yeah, like I said, a lot of people say that to me. They're just like, oh shit, you have that one?
Yeah.
Because, yeah, just sort of like everywhere. Like, I mean, this is pre-internet, really, and
Yeah.
social media, all that stuff, but all the magazines, especially, there's a couple Canadian tattoo magazines that were really trying to kind of get out there at that moment, and they really featured a lot of pictures of this one, so.
Was that in like Can Tack?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the one.
Yeah, that's
I
what I
remember the
thought.
cover of that magazine and the layout of this.
Yeah, Lisa Henderson,
Yeah.
Ivan's wife, was
That's
on
right,
that.
that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They put my business card in. I paid them to put my card in, but then I had changed my name, so they put both of my cards, not knowing it was the same person.
Yeah, that's all right. You get
So I got like
double.
2 for 1.
Yeah, exactly, 2 for 1.
Yeah. I tried getting a hold of that guy, Mike Kendrick.
Oh yeah,
He's the one that started that.
yeah.
And
I remember the name. As soon as you said it, I remembered the name. I was like, oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah. But I had met him a few times at Mike's shop. So
Well, I haven't thought about that magazine for years, but like thinking about it now, like I said, I remember exactly what it looks like.
yeah, it all
Yeah, that was
flashes
really
back.
cool. And for me too, as a young kid, you know, or what I think was a young kid at the time, I'm like, oh man, that's my arm in there. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Because yeah, it was. Now that's just commonplace. You see it all day, every day on people's
On
phones, all
Instagram,
that
right.
jazz. And but back then it was like, ooh, you know, you had to seek it out.
That's like
to
going
find it.
viral, basically.
Yeah, exactly.
So-
The 90s version of going viral.
Yeah, exactly.
For sure.
Yeah, this one's really vibing here.
Yeah.
So
Got lots of likes.
lots of likes.
Still to this day, see, you gave me a like.
You got a
Thank
like.
you very much.
Yeah, you're welcome. Do what I can, you know. So you said you were coloring. So where did you start tattooing? Like, where was
With
the first?
Danny at Ink Machine.
Oh, so you tattooed at his shop.
Yeah, like when he tattooed me. I said, oh, this is what I want to do. I had been going to school for graphic design and illustration and all that stuff, and it was right around the time when things were switching from being done by hand over to computer.
Yeah.
And I know I didn't want to sit behind a computer all day, every day for my career. You know, I sort of saw the winds of change, you know, blowing through, and so I was like, I don't really want to be part of that. I was like, okay, I'm going to do this tattoo thing because, like I said, it had been intriguing me for decades, and I really liked the idea of it. But at that time, you know, to go tell your parents, like, I'm going to quit college and start tattooing, they were just like, you know, a lot of eye rolls and, you know, what the fuck do you think you're doing?
Yeah.
Kind of thing. But I was dedicated to it, and like I said, I got tattooed by Danny, and then as soon as we were done that, I told him, I said, I really want to learn from you. And he said, well, I can't do that because I'm in this shop, but within the next year I'm going to be opening my own place, so stay in touch.
Yeah.
And over that year I just bugged him all the time, and I tried to keep track of him, and I did, and then he opened the shop and I showed up right away and got tattooed by him again, just to show him that I was serious. And I said, so what do I got to do? And he's like, well, before that I had my friend was like, oh, you want to do this? And I was like, yeah, let me draw something on you. So I drew with a Bic pen. I drew a half sleeve, like, outer thing, this fish with fire, all this stuff. And I videotaped it on a camcorder. Okay. And I brought Danny
like a big one?
A smaller one, but it was bigger, yeah.
Yeah.
And brought that tape to Danny.
Okay.
And said, put this in your VCR, put music behind it and everything, and tried to jazz it up.
Okay.
And so then I came in to get tattooed, and I was like, did you look at my tape? And he said, yeah, and it's good and stuff. And so I said, well, I really want to work here. And he's like, okay, I'll think about it. And then at the end of that tattoo, he said, so do you do any hard drugs? And I said, no. And he said, okay, come in on Monday. And that was it. That was sort of the job interview, you know, like, I just kept pushing and pushing. And he just made sure I wasn't going to be much trouble. And
I'm a little stuck on the whole. You drew a sleeve on, you videotaped it, and then that was like handing him a portfolio, but on video with sound.
Yeah, because I didn't know any better. So
that's awesome.
If someone came in here today and did that, I'd be like, oh, that's fucking cool, man. You know?
Yeah, like how many points for ingenuity would you get for that? Like, like that's like a 10 out of 10 for ingenuity.
It was fun. I was like, what do I do to impress this guy, you know? So
I'm impressed, and it's years later.
I put on a good song in the background and videotaped it, and then, you know, zoomed out and zoomed in. And, you know,
oh, yeah. You got real saucy with it.
Oh, yeah.
What was the music in the background? Do you remember?
Oh, man, I can't remember.
Long, slow, and easy?
Yeah, I really want to get him going.
Do you want to get rocked? Or?
Yeah.
Okay, that's awesome. That's going to stick in my mind for a little while.
Yeah, you got to do what you got to do.
Maybe I should do that sometime. Just draw on somebody and hand them a memory stick and say, this is what I can do. I want to come do a guest spot.
Yeah.
And I'll have me drawing with a magic marker.
Or really blow their mind and give them a VHS tape.
A VHS tape, yeah.
Then they got to go find a VCR to play it to know what you can do, right?
I'd probably have to bring the VCR with me.
Yeah, VCR and a VHS. Yeah.
Could I hire you? You've got experience.
I haven't seen a VCR in a while, but I'm sure I can track one down.
Okay. Our next project then. We'll get through this and then we'll work on that.
All right.
So you got the job, and then what were you got the apprenticeship. So what was going through your mind when he's like, all right, I'll take you on?
Well, yeah, I was obviously stoked on it, and I was like, okay, here we go. I had no idea really what it was all about, other than I knew that I was just going to have to do whatever he needed, because I knew that there was that exchange of me busting my ass and him showing me something that took him years to develop and learn, and everything he's going to pass on to me was worth something, so I had to ante up on my side. So I was like, okay, here I am, and I just hung out there and cleaned and scrubbed tubes and made needles and all that stuff. Whatever needed to be done. And
Sure, yeah.
like, even without anyone actually telling me that, I kind of just knew it, because I was like, well, this is worth something. Like, I knew that he was handing me something that I could take and travel around the world. And yeah, I just, and that it wasn't even that at that point. It was that at that point, but not on the scale it is nowadays. But still, in the back of my head, I'm like, I knew I could at least travel across the country doing this thing. And like, so
Yeah.
I really appreciated that. So I knew going in that I just have to draw as much as I could, and just be at the shop as much as possible. I also knew I needed a part-time job, because I wasn't going to be making money for a while. I kind of had that delusion at first, for sure.
Yeah.
When I first walked in, somewhere in the back of my head, I was like, even though I'm learning, I'm going to be able to start tattooing people right away, and like, he'll teach me what I'm doing. He set me straight on that pretty quick. He's like, you're going to need a job, because you're not going to be making any money for a year.
Yeah.
So I did some late night kitchen stuff and whatever. I was at the shop all day, get off from there, go work at night, and then go back to the shop the next morning.
It's notable that you're conscious of the fact that you needed to give back, and you were aware of how special it was. So, that's notable, because not everybody knows that coming into the situation.
Right.
And even more so nowadays.
Yeah.
Right. So.
Yeah, I mean, I have to credit my dad for that. He pounded that into my head my whole life. The idea of, I tell people I talk to people who haven't been tattooing that long, I talk to them about that all the time, where how easy it is nowadays. And when I was a little kid, my dad bought me a bike, and I used to like ghost ride it and let it fall wherever it fell and whatever, let it get rusty and whatever. But then my dad was like, okay, well, now you buy your own bike, or you have to contribute to it at least. So I had to like collect bottles and get money together and everything. And man, I used the kickstand on that bike all the time. I washed it all the time. Like, knowing that I had to put something in to get it so that was instilled in me from a little kid,
Sure, yeah.
And I just sort of assumed that that's what it was going to be like with this too. This guy isn't just going to be like, here, go ahead, take this information that I really had to bust my ass for and work hard and take shit from this guy. And now, that's one quick thing I have to say, is that Danny was not the stereotypical, like, smack you in the back of the head or berate you or make you feel like shit, which he had to go through that. And a lot of guys that came up when I came up had to put up with some asshole who was like power tripping, and like, especially on the biker side of things, that whole thing where you're just like, this is what you got to put up with.
Yeah.
Danny was a lot different in that regard, and I really appreciate him for that. He knew that it sucked to have that guy treat him like crap, and he didn't want to do that to me. So I'm just like, oh man, that's amazing that he had that mindset, and it helped me get where I needed to go, and I still carry that on now.
So you go through the apprenticeship with Danny. Any notable memories of that? The nostalgic moments, things that stand out?
Oh yeah, I mean, that was my first, venturing out into conventions and all that stuff. And the first few we went to, I wasn't tattooing. I was just there to get tattooed and see what it was all about. And that was really, we'd show up in a city. We didn't have hotels booked. We just like got there and figured it out when we got there, and we didn't have any money. And it was just like, it was super fun, like really an adventure. You didn't know where the hell you were going. And that part of it was great, because I really appreciated the fact that he let me tag along with him. And but I mean, just we did a lot of guest spots back then. So we met Kurt Wiscombe and Sean Treble, and started going out to Ontario and met Dave Monroe. Mm-hmm. Dave Monroe is the greatest. Like, he's such a great guy. Mm-hmm. And to this day, he's amazing. I really like Dave. And he really took care of Danny and I when we went out there. That's a big memory for me, is just getting out to Toronto and like wandering through there and going to Way Cool and going into shops, and that whole idea of like, hey, we knew that we were coming out there, no one had any idea who we were, and you walk into a tattoo shop and you got that attitude at first, right? And then kind of like, oh, we have a shop out in Edmonton, and all of a sudden things changed a little bit, and like, oh, okay, well, then you realize that you're in the fold a little bit, right? Yeah. That was a big thing for me. And then that person introduced you to somebody else, and then boom, and then Dave Monroe let us stay at his place, and like, it was all just, that was amazing to me, like just the idea of like, again, going back to just getting in the door and then realizing that that opens other doors for you because they've been through that already. Yeah. And they're like, oh, I had to step over that line at one point, and since you did it, you're cool, like, come on in. That's people take us out for dinner, let us stay at their plate. Like, it was amazing right off the bat, right? So that's a really big thing for me. That
I still feel special coming out here, because as soon as Ryan Halter knew I was coming, he's like, Ned, come stay with me. Yeah. You know, you just feel that camaraderie between you and your fellow artists. Like,
right away.
Yeah.
For sure.
So how long did you end up staying with Danny, and was your style, your artwork style, kind of developing at that time, or like? Yeah,
I mean, I stayed with Danny for 6 years, and 6 or 7, I think it was 6, maybe 7, and yeah, like that. The other thing that Danny didn't do to me was impose a bunch of like restrictions. Like I've heard a lot of that over the years too. Right? Like, you got to trace out all this old flash, and you have to use this approach to things, and sort of like putting people in a box almost, because that's how they learned. So, but Danny didn't do that with me. He's like, I see that you have this like artistic talent or whatever, and he wanted me to take that and implement what he knows and turn it into something on my own, right? Which again, I really appreciate that. So by the time I was leaving, after 6 years, we had already traveled, done a bunch of guest spots, and traveled around, and I knew at that point I was going to Montreal, and that's what got me in the door, was the fact that Danny was nice enough to teach me how to tattoo, but then he let me sort of run with my own style. So I came out there, and people were like, what the hell's this? Because, you know, whatever, I was doing my own thing. And that made a big difference, I think.
And so what year did you head to Montreal?
2002.
2002.
Yeah.
Okay. And I think that's the difference between just a biker teaching someone how to tattoo and an artist. And Danny was an artist. Oh, yeah. So he understood the artistic endeavor. Like it's unique, and everybody has their own creative approach, right?
For sure. Yeah, and like the influence he had were like, he was really into like the punk scene and like music posters and all this stuff, and fanzines and all those sorts of things. So he, like, especially when he started Ink Machine and started doing all the merch for it, and the illustrations he was doing were fucking so cool, you know, and I'd never seen anyone doing stuff like that before. So I was like, ooh, this is really a unique thing. And he really, I think he really changed the whole landscape of tattooing in Edmonton, because he was doing a lot of stuff that most of the shops out there at the time were sort of biker based, or like had that sort of vibe to them, or that feel, you know. Yeah. So he was doing something different for sure. Yeah. And then I got to benefit from that.
Yeah, for sure. It's funny, because I had no inkling at all that you grew up, you started in Danny's shop. It's really fascinating to me.
Did you ever go into that shop, the one, his first ink machine? No, not at all.
No, I went into the one, had frosted windows, and it was...
Oh yeah, that was the one after that, yeah.
Yeah.
The one before that, his original shop was in a old movie theater. It's like an Art Deco style movie theater, so where the projection room upstairs was where we tattooed, and the sterilization room, and then the lobby was the front for the shop.
Okay.
And then it just went on behind that, where the screens and the seats where someone lived back there, and there was like rehearsal space for musicians underneath that, and it was a great place to start.
Yeah.
I was learning a little bit how to play drums, and there was like drums down there, so I could like go up and tattoo and then go play the drums for a while.
Yeah.
Step out of the room and smoke a joint, and then go back upstairs and tattoo, and then go play the drums. It was like, what the hell? Like, this doesn't get any better than that.
So tattooing didn't work out. You could maybe join Whitesnake.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. That was the dream. That was the dream.
So what was the catalyst that made you want to step out and head toward Montreal?
A lot of it was just like growing pains a little bit. Like, I was ready to go somewhere, you know. I knew that I just didn't want to stay in the prairies my whole life and do that, right? And then especially once we started going out and like going to Montreal, I love that place. Like, I lived there for 10 years, and I was just telling Dave Cummings was here yesterday, and I was just like, I still love it. Like, I get FOMO thinking, like, talking to him and stuff like that. Like, oh, just like, there's something about that place. I love it. So when I started going out there, going from Kamloops to Edmonton, and then go to Montreal from there, I was like, okay, this is for me. You know, this is where I want to be.
Yeah.
And so I did a few guest spots, kept going back and forth, and sort of establishing myself a little bit out there. And it was time for me to leave. Danny had taught me a lot of stuff, and we still were buddies, but it was like, okay, you know, we had spent a lot of time together. We traveled together, and it got to the point where it was like, I love you, but I got to go, sort of thing. And he was happy to see me go at that point. Like I said, we didn't hate each other, but it was like, okay, this is, you know, it's run its course for now. You know, we're still friends, but the whole apprentice thing and getting out from under and all that it was ready to do that. So, and Montreal was just the natural next step. And I really appreciate Safwan. He let me work at his shop at Imago for years, like doing back and forth with guest spots and stuff like that.
Okay.
And that's what got my foot in the door out there.
Okay.
So, and then I worked there for a year after I moved there, and it was good.
So that was where you landed, was at Imago.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that was a great spot too. Safwan is a great guy, and you know, he's open.
Interesting.
Yeah, he took me to the real, like, okay, here we go. You want to go party? You want to see some stuff? Like, let's go for it. And so it was good to have that experience. He was happy to do it.
I had heard he was a real wild card in his day too. Like, he could really go hard.
Yeah, we all were a little bit back then.
Yeah.
Things got crazy sometimes, but it was like that was all part of it. No one had a phone with a video camera on it.
Yeah, that's right.
No pictures were taken.
Yeah.
And that was the thing, you know, like you go for a guest spot or you go to a convention and, you know, start to have a good time, and then you see that person either the next day or the next year, and you look at each other and you know, like, yeah, I remember that. And you know, we don't talk about it, but you know, that was the camaraderie of the whole thing, right?
Sure, yeah.
No one else knows but you and that group of people we were with. So. It wasn't anything illegal or horrible, but it was fun. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah. The shit would happen.
It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, I've heard some stories. We'll just keep those to ourselves. So.
Yeah, right.
So what was, when you show up at Imago with Safwan, what was the first thing that sort of turned your head? It's like, oh shit, this is different, or there's something, I haven't done this before. Or...
Well, Saf had like a whole production there, you know, like he sort of had that mindset, right? Like he's musician and a front man for a band, and like you know, he's a hustler. He knows what he's doing, you know, like so to show up there and be in a space where it's like, oh, everybody in this city knows who this guy is, and like the shop's really well known, and like he had people coming from Europe to work there, and all over Canada, and like you know, that was like, oh, this is a good place to be, because I knew that I was going to see a lot of tattooers from like I met so many people from France. They're like really, really good tattooers, and that whole European style that was going on then was completely different from anything that I had seen before. So that was really intriguing, and yeah, so that whole thing. And then I started meeting like the guys from Tattoo Mania and PSC and all that stuff, and it was just through that as a central like landing point, you know, things just started going from there. So Saf gave me that opportunity, and yeah, like I said, I really appreciate that.
In Saf's early days in his career, he was heavily influenced by Tintin.
Oh yeah,
and like just what he did to get tattooed, and then eventually learn some things from Tintin was like he did more than most people would ever dream of doing.
That's what I mean, right? He had
the drive,
that ambition.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
This guy's killing it. I'm going to go get tattooed by him. I'm going to develop a relationship with him, and like he's just so good at that. You know?
Like play a gig all night, and then jump on the train, sleep on Tintin's porch. Like who the fuck does that? Like that's dedication, right?